I'm waiting for Matthew McConaughey to like send me the sign through my bookshelf. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I need to know what the coordinates are, Matthew. Like I need to like, that's an Interstellar reference. Ugh, recording. Just trying to avoid the flu that other people seem to have.
Girl, Matt woke up the other day and he had come down with a cold over the course of the night, which that makes sense. He works with the public. There's no avoiding
He does work
it.
with the public.
So I was trying to avoid his germs, even though he had the day off. So I was trying to avoid his germs. And, but also trying not to be like a bitch about it because I don't want to make him feel bad that he got sick. But I also desperately didn't want that cold.
Yeah.
And I think I avoided it and then spent that entire night after he had gone to bed vomiting. So I got a whole different illness.
No, it might have been the same though.
What?
Well, I don't know because the flu that like I feel like people are getting it or that I like people are vomiting.
Yeah, it was gross. It was gross.
It's all gross.
It was not my favorite. And, you know, there was like a little bit of a hilarious vomiting story, but I don't know how much people want to talk about vomit right at the top of the.
We don't need to. We don't need to do that.
I'm going
to say we don't need to do that.
If anyone wants to know,
just DM, just slide into those DMs.
Me.
Well, I'm going to move because I'm like backlit and I feel like you can't see me.
But it's all fine. I was like clear liquids all day. Still on clear liquids. Still afraid to look at food.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
Or plumbing. It's okay. It's just wild that like, I mean, I don't go anywhere. I so avoid going anywhere and it doesn't matter. I went to one thing outdoors. And, you know.
That does seem weird. Wait, can I tell you something? What I did this morning?
Please.
First of all, it is so cold in New York. This is the first time where I was like, nope, this is untenable. I can't do it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's bad. Especially in the city, just the way that the city holds heat and the city holds wind and cold. It is really like, it's too cold. And then just fair warning, I know I already told you this, that we're having like quote unquote life-threatening winds in Los Angeles in Southern California today. So the power has already gone out here one time. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Now, tell me what you did this morning before the power goes out.
Well, I went and I had like a consult with a plastic surgeon who does the lower bleph surgery.
Oh, how'd it go?
She was like, yeah, you definitely need that.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I know, which I do. Like, by the way, it's also, I mean, if you care, if you want to, but a lot of people, it's like hereditary. And I will say there are people in my family, I won't blow anyone's spot up in case they're, they're not as open as I am about this.
Yeah.
But there are members of my family who've had it done. It's like a thing that like you either have or you don't. Some people don't get, mine isn't even like hollowness. Mine is literally just like skin and like fat, like a little bit of fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyway, it was good, but I do feel like I need to talk to more than one doctor.
Sure.
I'm a believer in a multiple opinion and also just find out other people's
experiences.
No, I've talked to so many people about their experiences.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. And so many actresses and like so many people who don't want people to know that they've had them done, but they have definitely had them done. And like people do it. It's wild. A lot. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, a lower bleph surgery. It's like blepharoscopy or something, whatever it is. But it's like if you have like excess bags or like, and they do it on the upper thing for people with droopy eyelids.
Yeah,
too.
They do it like it's like an outpatient procedure now.
It's not cases. Yes, it's not like she was saying like you're under for the surgery.
Yeah,
but it's an hour and then you're like in recovery for an hour and then you go home.
Yeah. There's a doctor that I follow on TikTok.
Oh my God, I follow so many. Oh, actually, you know what's interesting? You find
Yeah.
the doctor's name while I tell this.
Yeah.
I asked her questions and I was like, I mean, I know all of this from TikTok. Has that ruined your job as a doctor? Do you hate it? That
Yes.
people come in and they're like, but I think I need da 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 da. And she's like, actually, no, because patients are way more informed and they have so much research. And it does feel like they really know what they're looking for and like the results they're looking for. Sometimes it's harder when people come in and they're like, I don't know. I feel, you know.
Right.
Anyway, I really liked this woman. It feels very expensive to me, but also it is something that bugs the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it would make me feel better about everything in my life.
Well, I don't think it'll fix that, but I think it'll fix, you feeling bad about that specific thing.
But it's also something that literally for like 10 years has bugged me.
Yeah. Yeah, so. I totally get that. The doctor on TikTok who I like is Dr. Prem Tripathi. And I like him because he just seems very honest. I know that I've told you the reason why I loved my dermatologist in New York City, Dr. Adele Quintana, is because whenever I asked for fillers, she was like, no, I'm not doing fillers on you. And then eventually she was like, I'll do a little bit. And I was like, this woman wasn't just trying to get my money all these years. And so I trusted her when she said, okay, it might be time for a little bit. We'll try it and see how it goes. So I feel like he's very honest about like what skincare routines, like he's a realist about like what works versus what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. He's also a little bit of a futurist. I love when he does these TikToks are like, this is what we're going to be seeing in 2025. He talks a lot about upper blephs. I think that he does right in his office. And it like, these people already look great. The second that they're done with the surgery, like they don't look beat up at all, which is very heartening to me. But he also, he's been talking a lot about how natural plastic surgery is getting. Like you can hardly ever tell when people have had things done.
Yeah. Well, should I not talk about it? I don't know. I just feel like that's not
you talk about everything.
That's not my vibe.
So, yeah.
My vibe is not to not talk about it.
And also, like, I think even if people don't talk about it, like, well, take Lindsay Lohan, for example. I don't think she talked about whatever change she had in her life or appearance. But people sure have talked a lot about it. And so if you don't talk about it, people are going to talk about it.
Right. I do feel like that's always been sort of like a guiding principle for me is like, you get to control your own narrative when you're in the public eye by being open about things. And then at the same time, you get to not talk about things if you don't want to. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah. And then I'm trying to get in to see a couple more people because then you texted me about the schedule for going back to shooting the show. And I was sort of like, shoot, I should just do it because the recovery is not terrible.
Yeah.
But you do need like a couple weeks before you go back to work in front of a camera.
Sure.
So I'll keep you posted. I don't know.
Keep me posted.
I know. I really liked this woman. It is like, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway.
That's important. That's very important. Oh, I also like on Instagram, you should follow this guy, Dr. Truesdale. He does like serious facelifts on people. And like me, Ashley, and Kristen, our group chat is like 50% devoted to Dr. Truesdale. And it's just reposting videos that he posted and being like, he's a witch.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Like what he does to people.
Okay, well, I need to follow him.
You know what I'm sad about is that Matt got me for Christmas. You know, I'm still like living that frozen shoulder life. And it's hard. Some mornings, I'm going to say, when there's no one there to help you hook your bra, you're fucked. Like you're not putting a bra on. And then like that changes the whole veneer of your day once you start the day with no bra. If you're never getting a bra on, it's it's worse than not wearing shoes, maybe. You know what I mean? Like it just changes the whole temper of your day. Anyway, Matt got me this invention that is like patent pending. So that's right up my alley. And it comes in a case and it says like right on the front of the case, I think it says, "You will get better." And it's like this little handle and like a cable, and then it has a series of weighted balls, and you do this exercise where you swing the balls around with your arm out straight in like 3 different positions. It takes like 2 minutes a day, and you're supposed to do like, I think you're supposed to do it for 40 days, 10 days with the 1 pound ball, 10 days with 2, 10 days with 3, 10 days with the 4 pound ball. And I was 10 days into the 1 pound ball, and I was getting ready to move on to the 2 pound ball, the 10 days with that. And I did feel like my shoulder was really getting better. But then when I got the pukes, my body was so sore, and I feel like I feel like it wiped out all of my shoulder ball exercise progress. So I'm thinking maybe I start back at day 1 again.
Maybe start back at day 1.
What do I have to lose, right?
Yeah, truly.
It said I will get better.
Well, great. It will. You will.
But I was bummed out. But I'm also like, I feel so bad because Matt's been sick. And so he's been home for a few days. And normally he's not home. And I have plenty of time to myself. But when he is home, he just sticks by me like, you know, like a loyal pet. And so I've been having to like kick him out so that I can do my little shoulder twirling exercises because I feel stupid doing that in front of him. And he's so nice about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, of course, of course." But then the other day he was sick, so I didn't want to kick him out, so I made him like look the other way while I did it. It was,
oh my God,
it's too much. It's like it's a bad play that's been happening in this house.
Well, you're doing it.
I'm doing it.
You will get better. We all will get better. Oh my gosh. Did you watch the Golden Globes?
I didn't. You know, I think like, and I think I've said this before on the podcast, but it bears repeating. For so long, I worked in like live television and or like daily television.
Yes.
That really wanted to do award show coverage. Like, and it's like, so in many cases, it'd either have to be ready for the next morning, or in the case of Watch What Happens Live, like Andy would want to talk about it and it was still going on like as our show was starting. And it's like, it was very stressful because it was a small team there, and like you're trying to like have people pull clips and have people form ideas of where it should go in the show, and like you're actually starting the show. It's really, really stressful. And so like after years of like working live on Rosie, working at Best Week Ever, where we had to do like a big package about whatever award show, Watch What Happens Live, where Andy would want to respond to it and like possibly show clips that were impossible to clear like at 11 o'clock at night. I just kind of never watch award shows. I never want to, because I'm like, it just puts me right back in that stressed out place.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. What's work?
And then I always feel for like, I just know how many people I know work in show business, and it's like super cool. But I do find, I find award shows like a little, they're not inclusive, and it's not possible for them to be inclusive. But it's like people work on shows that like, even shows that get nominated, and the people that work on them don't get to go. So they're just like watching their colleagues like prepared to accept accolades and dress up and have this like grand night out. And I get it. Like that's, you know, that's how it goes. But I'm just thinking of everyone who's like, I really wish I could be there, you know?
Yeah.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer.
Yeah. I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it either?
No, like
I heard Nikki Glaser killed it.
That's, well, all I was going to say was that the only thing I did do was I watched her monologue the next day.
Yeah.
And I watched Demi's speech that night.
Yes.
So I watched her speech that night. I watched the monologue the next morning. I thought Nikki Glaser was fucking amazing.
Yeah, she was really fun.
She was great. It was like the perfect balance. I feel like she just nailed it. And I was very happy about that. And it was entertaining and fun. And then like I like to like look at dresses and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, but that's all online. So it's not even like that big of a deal.
You can do all that without actually watching, which I guess is like part of the problem when people talk about like, I don't know what the ratings were for the Golden Globes, but that's how I consume it too.
The other thing is too, I do feel like even though I know it sort of like matters inside the industry, like in terms of, you know, like probably if Girls Five Eva had gotten nominated for a Golden Globe or, you know, something like that, like it could have prolonged the life of the show, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I kind of just feel like who cares anymore?
Yeah.
Even though I'm like working within the industry and like I would I would care if I got nominated for something. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like the personal version or like gratification or whatever, or the fact that it would like be helpful for projects, I don't know if like after the last many years, especially like the last 5 years, like literally I'm like, I don't understand why we're doing this still, like in this way.
Right.
You know,
well,
it doesn't feel right to me.
That's the whole thing, is that it can only matter to you if you are nominated. And then that's like a nice thing or whatever. But that's kind of like what I was saying too about how it disincludes like, you know, like Bridgerton never gets nominated for anything. And it's, you know, why is that? Because it's like a soapy show that's meant for a certain kind of person. The critical acclaim is how successful Bridgerton is. Like people can't get enough of it. They'd watch it every day if a new episode came out every day, probably, you know? So like people fucking love that show. And so I guess, is that the award? Is that their reward? Yeah, in many ways, but like, you know,
well,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
And it's also stupid, again, like we've talked about this a million times, but like The Bear being a comedy is like, it's wild. It's not a comedy. So like, I just think that
they just go by time. It's like, oh, it's 30 minutes. It's a comedy. It's so fucking bizarre.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
and then there's great shows that do get nominated, but there's like great shows that totally like fly under the radar for whatever reason. And you don't know why.
Yeah, the show I was on, Caissie.
Yeah. Well, and that's
the best comedy ever.
That's not the first time that's even happened to you, I'm sure. You know, never mind happened at all, but.
No, I won a Critics' Choice Award for Cougar Town. I was never nominated for anything else.
Right.
And it was before the Critics' Choice Awards were even televised, so it feels like it didn't even happen.
That one goes in and out, right? Doesn't it? It has like a year that it's on TV and then a year where they're like, yeah, let's not bother.
No, what happened was at a certain point, they realized they decided to combine TV and film. It used to be separate, and the Critics' Choice Awards for film were always televised because, you know, the hierarchy of movie stars. But now, as we know, everybody does everything now these days.
Right.
Well, that's not exactly true. If you're a movie star, you definitely can do television. Not necessarily the other direction.
The other way around. Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Anyway, all of this to say, whatever awards. But I did like Nikki Glaser. I thought that was funny. And I thought there were some good looks. And I didn't pay that much attention because I've just been doing other things. And including, talked a little bit last week about like body doubling and like me wanting to do chores while I do the podcast.
Yeah.
Somebody said we need to reach out to Matt Gorley because they do a mall walking podcast.
Oh, okay.
And so I do know Mr. Matt Gorley from the Thrilling Adventure Hour.
Yeah.
Which, quick plug, guys, if you're a Thrilling Adventure Hour fan, I don't know if you are, we will be doing 2 shows at the San Francisco Sketch Fest. And then we are doing like a show in Chicago in the spring. And I believe there's an LA show and there might be a show in London. I don't know. But I'm going to be doing as many of them as I can
Yeah.
based on my schedule and our schedule, doing our show and any other jobs that might show up in my life. Who fucking knows? The point is, but San Francisco, I'm definitely going to be at because that's like in 3 weeks. And the tickets are on sale.
Okay.
So if you want to come to San Francisco to see it, that'd be amazing. If you're in Phoenix, I'm doing a talk with the woman that wrote We Are the Lucky Ones.
Oh, nice.
We Were the Lucky Ones for Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Oh, okay.
And that's the 23rd of January. And then I go to Sketchfest in San Francisco, and I'm doing the Tinder Live with Lane Moore on the 24th. And then on the 25th, there's 2 shows for Thrilling Adventure Hours. So come see it if you guys are in there. I don't know why. I just like never talk about these things. And then I just feel like I should talk about them. So if you are around and you want to come, you should come.
Yes. Do you feel weird about like promoting things? We never really talk about that.
No, I just forget.
You just forget. Okay.
I'm doing a talk on Monday. I don't even know if it's sold out at a bookstore but see, like, I don't even know the details either. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, well, here in New York.
Right.
I'm doing a 90-second why talk with Gretchen Whitmer.
Right.
On January 27th.
Right.
There's definitely tickets to that. I don't know. I'm just like, I always forget to talk about those things. And like, I don't know. I'm not great, at keeping track.
I also think we're at a little bit of a disadvantage because like, this is going to sound like, but like I was thinking a little bit about this. Like we really come from a time, like I come from a time working in TV where we had a whole promos department, like a phalanx of people that promoted everything that had to do with anything that our show ever did. And like armies of publicists and like just placing articles and getting interviews, whatever, promoting everything. But now, like over the years, more and more, I noticed that like people would be like, shows that I worked on would be like, oh, can you come up with some ideas for this promo campaign? And I'd be like, oh, that's not really, there used to be a department for that. And they'd be like, well, yeah, the promos writers are going to write it, but like, can you come up with some ideas? And then, and also like some suggested lines. And also like, you just saw that like promo thing getting smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, in the old days, promotion and publicity was like everything in entertainment. Like everything was made up, like the relationships and the magazines and everything it was all just a promotional plan, So
Totally.
we were even in a different stage. But I think it's so weird. Like I think it's hard to promote. And now we're in like a fully DIY mode where you have to promote every single thing that you're doing. And everything is so diverse. And you're like, and you get in trouble for like when you said something sometimes because you weren't supposed to say it yet. And like, it's nice that people are taking it seriously, but also you're like, okay, but like, it's so weird. And so I just was curious about it because we never really talked about it. And like, I know that whenever you and I do something together, we're constantly like, can we talk about this? Are we allowed to mention this? Are we not supposed to say this? Or,
Sometimes I think people don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean like even the people in charge.
Yeah. And they're just like, they just know that they didn't want you to say it once you already said it. That's been my experience. Like, take down that Instagram post you put up about this thing. And I'm like, for me, it's always relatively small things too. And I'm like, oh no, 800 people know about the talk you invited me to talk at.
Yeah.
Too soon.
I know.
But it's hard. But I also know that a lot of people, authors particularly, struggle with like, well, who am I to promote this? Like a lot of authors I know are like, I'm an author. I'm not like, I feel weird like talking about all the stuff that I'm doing. And I'm like, well, you got to stop feeling weird about it because no one else is going to talk about it for you.
No one's going to do it. Yeah. Right. You got to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh, Caissie, we've got a new sponsor on the podcast.
Oh, positive.
Oh, positive. It's a best-selling women's health product at Target and Amazon.
They offer a full line of things, but I'm super into the vaginal probiotics.
Well, because as you said to me, any stage of your life, you want to balance, you want a healthy vaginal pH.
Yeah. And I just think even beyond my vagina, I love having a good probiotic in my routine. So Urovaginal Probiotic, URO is the name of them. And they're these cute little pink pills.
They've got real tangible results. They've got ingredients that are backed by clinical studies and shaped by board-certified doctors. And lots of things can affect your pH. Sex with people, new people, old people, young people. I don't know. Tight clothing, working out, staying in your workout clothes. Woo.
Yeah.
That's a vibe.
Plus hormones, periods, all that stuff that you don't really have control over.
No, and it can create an imbalance in your vaginal flora. And it can be a thing.
It's a thing.
But it can be a thing. But when you take 2 capsules daily, URO delivers noticeable benefits within 8 weeks. People see results sooner. And it's got strains of probiotics and prebiotics. And it helps with all of the stuff to keep you healthy in your vagina. And everywhere, actually. Because that's the thing. We know now we need all the probiotics and prebiotics we can get.
Yeah. Urovaginal Probiotic is a blend of 4 powerful strains of lactobacillus probiotics. You know the ones. You know lactobacillus is our old friend. And in addition, Uro contains prebiotics that increase the effectiveness of the probiotics. I know I myself get confused about what prebiotics are for, and then I always have to remind myself, prebiotics are to help probiotics do their job.
Take proactive care of your health and head to opositive.com/busy or enter busy at the checkout for 25% off your first purchase. That's opositive.com/busy for 25% off. The product's a game changer. You guys, there's lots of amazing reviews. Their customers really love it. Think you will too. Rocket Money is back.
Rocket Money, you might remember, is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscription. It monitors your spending and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings, which I think is something we're all looking at going into 2025.
100%. We got to keep track of this stuff. Rocket Money also can pull together all of your spending across all your different accounts so that you can look at your spending habits.
Right.
And you can see where you might maybe need to cut back like food being delivered to my home.
Is that what Rocket Money told you?
Yeah, it is. It's like, girl,
oh my gosh.
Honey, if you cut that down, you got it made.
You've got it made.
That's what Rocket Money said to me.
Peas me more than discovering a subscription that I thought I signed up for, like the free trial. I did one thing on an app or whatever, and then I never went back to it. And then cut to, I've been paying for it every month. That is a heartbreaker for me.
Listen, when the trial period ends and you forget to cancel that subscription, and then you just forget altogether.
Yeah.
That's where Rocket Money really is like a really incredible app. Rocket Money, personal finance app, helps you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, helps you monitor your spending, helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings, so you can save money, so you can do things with your money that you want to do and not be wasting it on like some random app that you don't even remember getting, but you got it one time because you just wanted to try to see if you could like smooth out a wrinkle under your eyes without it looking crazy, but it looked crazy because they never look good. So,
oh my gosh.
And one thing for the surgery, you got to cancel this.
Think of all the surgeries you could be getting if you weren't using apps to simulate surgeries.
Wait, Rocket Money also can try to negotiate lower bills for you.
Yeah,
They
that's really
automatically
great.
scan your bills and find opportunities to save, like on phone bills and things like that, where like there'll be like, wait a minute, you're on this plan, but they now have this plan and you should do this.
Right.
Guys, I don't know. It's a win-win with Rocket Money. Rocket Money has over 5 million users. It has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. That's incredible. I don't know. I just highly recommend it. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/busy today. That's rocketmoney.com/busy. rocketmoney.com/busy. Wait, all of this was a sidetrack. My ADD is really showing today. From the point that I've been looking for ways to like accomplish tasks.
Yes, body doubling.
Body doubling, but without having a body doubled.
Okay.
Because I don't, because it's just me, just one body here. You know what I mean? And so my idea was about the podcast, and I am going to check with Matt Gorley about that, how they do that. They must have like clip-on mics, or they hold, I don't know.
Something.
But we have talked about this, but guys, just so you know, I don't listen to podcasts. Never have been a podcast listener outside of, this is very real, the very first Serial.
Okay.
The very, very first one. I was on Cougar Town at the time.
I listened
and
to
I
it
drove
too.
back and forth to Culver City from Hollywood every day for work.
Yeah.
And when that podcast came out, it was like the perfect moment in my life for me to listen to something and be super excited about it. And like, also then Krista Miller was listening to it. And so I would get to work when there were new episodes and we would be like, oh my God. And that was fun.
Right.
Also, they dropped them weekly. It was like very...
You couldn't binge it.
No. So the several people in the last like 2 weeks or week or two have asked me if I've listened to this podcast called the Telepathy Tapes.
I was just going to tell you the Telepathy Tapes. I was going to say, you don't listen to podcasts, but you need to listen to the Telepathy Tapes.
Well, listen, bitch, she's in. But that I truly listened to the first 2 episodes of the Telepathy Tape, got every ornament off the Christmas tree wrapped and put away, got all the rest of the Christmas decorations like put on the table, got crickets. Cricket came back on Sunday night or on Sunday, got Cricket's huge suitcase full of stuff and presents and things, everything unpacked, put away, separated, laundry, listening to this podcast, kitchen cleaned, like did it all.
Wow.
Listening to a podcast, the Telepathy Tapes. So also I watched Interstellar over the weekend, which I never had watched.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because it's everything I love.
Interesting.
Quantum physics.
Yeah.
Space, time, and love. Most importantly, love.
Most importantly,
but anyway,
love.
Have you guys watched Interstellar?
I haven't watched it in so long.
Yeah, it was fucking great. It's also super sad.
Yeah.
But I just love that Christopher Nolan.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, the point being, the Telepathy Tapes is wild.
It's wild. And I went and watched the videos of like the documentary that they're making.
I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, I don't understand. Is she making a documentary as well?
I think so.
But she's like not
Or
really
she's-
saying that she is. Or,
She's trying to.
I was going to say, as we know, no, as I know now.
Maybe we're making her documentary.
Well, I think it is. I mean, it is hard to get financing for anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it does seem like perhaps it's much easier to get financing for
a podcast.
Pay for a podcast.
Yeah.
Even though I think she's taking on those costs herself.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, the Telepathy Tapes is about a researcher, a neuroscientist from Harvard who's been doing research about children who have nonverbal autism, having very real telepathy with their, normally it's like their primary caregiver, like their parent.
Yeah, their mother.
Or people in their family. Some of the kids clearly can kind of do it with other people too.
Yes. And with each other.
And with each other. And it's also like this quantum piece is very real to me.
Yeah.
Because I had listened to that podcast about quantum entanglement like a year ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of crossover and also synesthesia.
Right.
And if you don't know what synesthesia is, there's many different kinds of synesthesia.
Yeah.
That quantum entanglement podcast that I'd listened to had a super interesting part with a woman who had emotional synesthesia.
Oh, wow.
Which is like wild with strangers, anyone. Like if she saw someone get hurt, she would like fall to the ground in pain.
Oh, God.
And they, hooked her brain up and showed her, and it was real. The part of her brain that was, the part of the brain that would fire if you were like being injured or whatever, hers would like light up huge, like as if she were actually at the same level as a person who was being injured in that moment. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy, but also I get it. Like I always get this thing where, oh gosh, I'm going to sound insane, but I'll liken it to, because I've talked to my sons about this and they're like, you know how like when a dude sees another dude get hit in the balls and they're almost like, I can feel that. And they're like my sons are like, we're not just being dramatic. It's almost like a physical response.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Feel that part of your body.
Guys, we've all had our butt clench.
Exactly. But I get this thing where my jaw, like something weird happens with my jaw and then it makes like my eyes like kind of water and twitch. Like when I'm seeing, it's different things. But I think it's like why ASMR works for some people. Like some people just like ASMR and it's just soothing or whatever. Some people actually have a physiological response to ASMR sounds. They get goosebumps, they get like tingling, whatever. So, I mean, it is wild, but it also makes sense. We've been talking about spidey senses tingling since forever, so it does make sense that for some people it's just like way more intense, or maybe they're way more in touch with it or way more sensitive to it.
Well, I have to tell you something that happened. This is crazy.
Tell me.
I've always kind of thought that I had a little bit of emotional synesthesia too, by the way.
Yeah.
Especially after I listened to that quantum entanglement podcast a while back.
Yeah.
And the versions of like telepathy and like mind reading and stuff that I think a lot of us can like relate to.
Yeah.
I feel like kind of crosses over with quantum entanglement, because it's like always like people that you're super, super close with. But I think it raises such interesting questions about how little we do know about our brains. And also, I don't know why Interstellar just was like in my head.
Yeah.
But the idea of like removing time from the equation and like, are we everywhere all at once? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And gravity and all of these things. Okay. Cricket came downstairs because I was like, come down and grab these presents. They're ready to go to your room, whatever. She comes downstairs and she's like, what are you just like listening to somebody talking? It's like, yeah, I am. Because
you
also I was
roasted for doing the most normal thing.
Totally. I mean, obviously. No, but I had put it on the speakers because I was like roaming around the house. And so I wanted to like not have to I was carrying things. I didn't want to have to hold my phone. Do you know what I'm saying? I just wanted it to play on
Right.
like my Sonos
Yeah,
speakers.
yeah,
So when
of
I was like
course.
in this room and they were here and they were
Yeah.
whatever. She's like, you're just like blasting somebody talking. And I was like, I am, as a matter of fact.
It's a
I was like, it's a podcast. And I paused it and I was like, actually, Cricket, I feel like you'd be super into this. And I
Yeah.
started explaining it to her. And then I was like, and some of the kids even have like, some of the kids also have synesthesia. Do you know what synesthesia is? And she's like, well, I don't know. I feel like I've heard it. I feel like I've heard that word before. And I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. So synesthesia typically is when like people have letters or numbers attached to colors or words attached to colors or sometimes musical notes attached to colors. And she's like, what? What? And I was like, well, it's like, I don't really know because I don't have it. But like, I guess you have like, like numbers or letters or words or music. And you have like you see colors for those things. And that's it. And she's like, yeah, no, what? No, I mean, like, that's what, no, doesn't everybody have that? And I go, wait, what are you talking about? And she goes, all numbers have colors, all letters have colors, words have colors, and music has colors. And I was like, no, I know. Yes, there's colors, right. But it's like a different thing. And she's like, no, A is blue, B is green, C is yellow, but T is also yellow, but it's a different yellow. And then she starts like rattling off, like, you guys. Anyway, I'm pretty sure Cricket is like fully has synesthesia.
Yeah. You said she took out her phone and what did she do?
Oh, she was just like showing me different songs and the colors that they are.
Oh, interesting.
No, it was crazy. But then and she was like telling me about how some words have colors, but not all words have colors.
Yeah.
But all letters and all numbers have colors, and sometimes math equations have colors.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you're such a second child.
That she just didn't say anything at all ever.
Yes.
Well, it's also weird. I feel like, I don't want to be creepy. I love Cricks. And I feel like I get how her brain works. Like I even though I was not a second child, but I just feel like I get it. Like I get not saying anything about like something that is seemingly a big deal or whatever. Like, because it's not a big deal because you think everyone else is like that, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing with her.
Yeah.
But also she's like, we've talked about this forever. Like, because frequently I'm sort of like, oh no, should I be paying more attention? Did I not? You know what I mean? With Cricket.
Yeah.
But then like, I do. And she doesn't have any interest in like sharing certain things until she is in a place where she wants to.
Yeah.
And like, I also do think with this in particular, like synesthesia part of it, I think it really never occurred to her that it was a thing that it was different.
Well, if you're like that your literal whole life, why would you just not assume that everybody is like that?
Right.
You know? Lincoln's like that too. Lincoln, I don't know. I've never had the synesthesia talk with him. It's about time.
Well, Lincoln?
Sometimes the mom has to sit down with her kid and have that awkward talk about synesthesia. But he had wild taste buds as a kid and just thought everybody was like that. But he could like literally pick out the ingredients of something that
he was a super taster, right?
Super taster, yeah. And like, you know, and so just everyone else, he would just be like, why can you not taste that? That tastes terrible. It tastes bad. And we'd all be like, dude, it's just chocolate milk, you know, like, and he'd be like, it's the bad chocolate milk. It's not the good. It's the bear chocolate milk, not the cow chocolate milk. Like he could taste the difference between the different syrups that we made chocolate milk with.
Not to be, again, with Cricket, literally, we used to joke because when she was a baby, she might have been a super taster too.
Yeah.
When she was a baby, she loved her milk. She loved milk.
Yes. Lincoln
she
too.
She didn't want to breastfeed for a terribly long time. Like she was like, blech.
Yeah.
Like spit it out and biting me. And she wanted like a bottle because she loved how fast the milk came, I think, in the bottle. Yeah. And she just loved milk. She loved, and she called it her bobbies, and she like wanted her bobbies and whatever. Aww. It had to be one particular brand of milk. And if you tried to put any other brand of milk into her bobby, she would take one sip and like throw it away. Yeah. Like she was, we always joked she was like a connoisseur, a milk connoisseur.
Yeah.
Because she could tell, she was like one of those people like who can like sip water and be like, this isn't Evian or whatever.
Right,
like,
right.
It felt like that. Like she just was like, this is not my Horizon organic vitamin D milk or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember. But like, it's so, like she definitely had that. Also, she hated chocolate, which is a thing with kids who have really, their taste buds are too.
Well, which I was going to say, Lincoln didn't hate chocolate, but sometimes you'd give him some chocolate and he'd be like, fake vanilla. It has fake vanilla. You can't taste that. And then you'd go and look and it'd be like artificial flavors in the chocolate. And then he'd be like, and I'd ask him like, how did you know that? And he'd be like, it burns. It doesn't taste right. It burns my throat. It burns my throat. And I'd be like, all right, okay. Very sensitive taste buds in that guy.
Yeah. Cricks too. These guys, they're interesting, these children of ours.
It's interesting. And I wonder like how many kids are just too polite to like say that bad chocolate burns their throat. You know what I mean? Or they're just like.
Or afraid.
Exactly.
Because they like are told by their parents they must choke down whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's like, remember when Keisha, who we worked with at Busy Tonight, was telling us about her friend said she didn't like, everybody would eat bananas in the morning. And one time Keisha told us a story about her friend saying, oh, I don't like bananas because they're too spicy.
Right.
And Keisha was like, what?
Bananas
and she was like,
spicy.
They're
what
so
are you
spicy.
talking about?
And then she was like, girl, I think you're allergic to bananas.
Yeah.
But she'd just clearly been like eating bananas like occasionally in her life, despite them being too spicy.
Like bananas are not, or like, yeah, it just makes my mouth like, I don't know, like kind of numb and tingly. Yeah, that's just so, an allergy.
It's so funny though, but that's, it's similar to like cricket being like, this is just how it is with everyone. Like, everybody, you probably just think like, oh, I'm being such a drama queen. Everyone chokes down their bananas just fine. And here I am like, oh, too spicy.
Too spicy. Well,
oh my
anyway,
gosh.
I don't know
really
how far.
Interesting.
I know. I also am just like, what do we do with that? Probably nothing. You know what I mean? It's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to know. You'll be like for sure looking at her in a different way next time she's doing math, I'm sure.
I know.
But
also like she's just being so cute right now. I can't take it.
Aw.
I know, she's really cute. I love her. She's like growing up.
She's so cute.
She's really cute.
Tell her I think of her every time I look at my spoon from Emily Beebe's Hanukkah gift hunt.
Yeah.
She picked
By the way,
spoon.
One of your gifts did make it back to New York. I unpacked it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it will be mailed out to you shortly.
Well, as you know, I couldn't say anything if you didn't mail it for 5 years.
So true.
Yeah,
so true. No, I'm going to mail it to you though.
All right. I haven't undecorated my tree yet. I thought I was going to do it. It was on my list yesterday, but yesterday was Puke Fest 2025. So I didn't do anything.
I just felt like if I didn't do it, the kids had stayed in LA with Mark.
Yeah.
Until Sunday. And I just felt like if I didn't do it this weekend, past weekend, it wouldn't get done.
Right. And then it's there till like Easter.
Yeah. And I felt like while that could have been a vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe I needed to start to be a little proactive.
Yeah. I know Matt was like, last night he was like, and I mean, obviously I'm overly sensitive or whatever. My stomach was overly sensitive, but he was like, oh, there's some of this left over in the fridge. I'm probably just going to have that for dinner since you're not going to eat dinner. And I was like, that's from Christmas dinner. And he was like, oh my God, that was like ages ago. And I was like, throw it out. It's not good.
Not good.
But he, as far as he was concerned, Christmas was like 3 days ago. He, like he lost time.
I kind of feel that vibe. I sort of understand that deeply.
Yeah.
Like New Year's was only a week ago.
I know. It's so, time has been wilder than ever.
Before.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying though. Interstellar, telepathy, mind, whatever. I don't know, guys.
Gotta watch
bending.
it.
The universe has been bent.
Yeah. I agree. I watched not Interstellar, but I finally watched Wicked.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. I'm watching it Wednesday night with Jeffrey, Self, and Augie.
Oh, I love Jeffrey.
Yeah.
He's
his husband, Augie?
I've never met his husband, but I love Jeffrey. He's delightful.
They're great. Yeah, they're coming. Our plan is they're coming over here. I'm going to make dinner and we're going to watch Wicked finally.
Oh, nice. That's amazing. We watched Wicked and then also Night Bitch.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
I really liked it, but is there really like a thing this year of like just movies where incredibly weird shit is happening to women, like incredibly weird supernatural shit? Or like almost like it's okay. So you know that I watched The Substance. I'm not going to watch it. Just FYI. Okay, I watched The Substance, Baby Girl, and Night Bitch. And here's what I'd say is like there is like a running theme between the three of them of like transformation and weird, supernatural, unexpected changes, and also
and
dogs.
Power dynamic.
Yeah, power dynamics. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it was just weird. And I think it's so great to have like these very woman-forward films. Like that's nice. That's refreshing. But yeah, it's like a weird thread. It's like when you notice that everybody's wearing silver at an award show one year, and you're just like, oh, interesting. Like what is it in the zeitgeist that has us talking about these things?
Well, I mean, women have lost all bodily autonomy and power.
Yes. Yeah.
In our country.
Yeah.
And no one seemingly cares about whether or not men are rapists or predators in terms of giving them power.
Right.
And they literally refuse to give women any amount of power or control. There's nothing that we can say about Thrive Cosmetics that we haven't already said. We're obsessed with it. We love it. We love every product. We wear it. We are fans. We are customers. They advertise on our podcast. We still buy the products. I mean, this is like a real love affair with this cosmetics company. It's our favorite. We love them. We love that they advertise on here. We're like advertising for them even when they're not sponsoring this podcast. We are both constantly advertising for Thrive Cosmetics.
Walking around wearing that stuff because it works. It's like
because it's my favorite.
Yeah.
People ask me on Instagram all the time. I don't get paid on Instagram for Thrive. They sponsor this podcast when we're lucky enough to have them. We love them so much. If they were our own, I mean, truly, we love them. Is all I'm going to say. We're like obsessed.
Yeah.
Listen, if you have not gotten the viral tubing mascara, the mascara that I talk about so much, the mascara that people DM me, what is that? What mascara are you wearing, girl? Your eyelashes are insane. It is, you've got to try it. It's a turquoise tube. You've seen it.
Liquid lash extensions. It's a beautiful, the packaging is so beautiful. It's like very high quality.
I literally have a tube of that mascara stashed in every corner of my home. That is not an exaggeration.
I'm the same too.
You open any like random drawer in my house and there is a tube of the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lashes Extensions mascara. But also I love that their beauty products are 100% vegan and cruelty free. made with very clean and skin-loving ingredients. I have very sensitive skin. It does not cause me to break out.
Yeah.
They've got high-performance trademarked formulas, uncompromising standards. And it's very easy once you start using Thrive Cosmetics to see why their bestsellers have thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews. Plus, it's in the name. But for every product purchased, Thrive Cosmetics donates products and funds to help communities thrive, which is why it is named aptly Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSE Medics. I don't know. I just like knowing that a company that I support is supporting good in the world.
Agree.
That's important. So yeah, get into the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. Get into the Brilliant Eye Brightener. Lots of you ask me about the different shades of lipstick that I wear on Instagram. I will answer you. If there's a red that you like, just ask me and I'll tell you which one it is. But I will tell you the brand, always Thrive Cosmetics.
It's Thrive. It's usually an Empower Matte Precision Lip Crayon.
Usually,
one of the reds.
Yes.
Usually,
yes, it is. 100%. Thank you. Anyway, Thrive Cosmetics is luxury beauty that gives back. Right now, you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/best. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/best for 20% off your first order. Helix. It's time to sleep with Helix. Guys, I think that it's time to get a new mattress.
It really is.
Yeah, for you listening right now. I know this is like specific to the person who's listening in this moment right now.
Yeah.
Honey, it's time. You got to get
This is
get
your
a new
sign,
mattress.
as they say.
This is your sign. This is your sign. You need to get some good sleep.
Yeah.
You need to relieve those night sweats, that back pain, that motion transfer from your partner rolling and rolling and rolling.
Oh my gosh.
And you're like, every time it wakes me up, that's it. Helix has solved those issues for you.
Yeah. And I
do.
mean, people are talking about how hard it is to get good quality sleep. And yes, there's a lot going on in the world. You're working hard, all of those things. But also, it might just be time to look into a new mattress.
Yeah. Like, here's what we can do. We can only do the things we can do.
Right.
We can't change some things that are happening in the world. We just can't. We actually don't have power over it right now in this moment. We can work towards change, substantive change together. Yes. Until then, let's control the things we can control. And you know what you can control? The mattress that you're sleeping on at night.
Yeah. Take good care of your body.
And if you are thinking about it right now and you're like, oh, wait, no, I just got a new mattress. I want you to really think about when you got that mattress. Because I'm going to bet you it was at least 15 years ago. I'm just going to bet you.
Yeah.
And in that case, it's time to hop on over to helixsleep.com/best and take a little quiz. Get matched with a mattress. Have it delivered to you. Have a 100-night risk-free trial. You're going to love your mattress. You're going to sleep better. You're going to thank us. There are all kinds of offers here for our 2025. You know what I mean? New Year's sales, extended New Year's sales.
Yes.
So you just go to helixsleep.com/best and you're going to get
25% off site-wide.
25% off site-wide. Yes, that's what we were in.
Plus
25% off site-wide.
Plus 2 free dream pillows with a mattress purchase.
Come on. You need those pillows too because you got to put that under your neck so that you can have the support. That's what I know.
You got your pillows when you got the mattress and they're both ready to go. You need
and then pillows are like full of like mites and stuff, which is disgusting. Like, I don't even want to talk about that. That's so gross. When you like, people are like, my pillow's so heavy. And it's like, yeah, it's full of mites.
Yeah, it's full of life from the past several years.
Disgusting. Get those dream pillows. helixsleep.com/best for 25% off site-wide plus 2 free dream pillows with your mattress purchase. This is not going to go on forever, guys. Get on it right now. helixsleep.com/best. Anyway, I watched It Ends With Us because honestly, I was so fascinated and horrified by the New York Times article about Justin Baldoni and the PR firm that was hired to essentially discredit Blake Lively and make her look bad.
Right.
In the court of public opinion. Like, I was fascinated by that whole story and like so disgusted by it. But then but then at that point I was like reading so much about that movie.
Yeah.
That then I was like, I never read the book or anything.
Right.
And I was kind of like, but people really loved that movie.
Right.
They did.
Yeah.
It was like a hit.
Yeah.
Too. So I was kind of like, I just wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And it is really good. Like, I mean, I thought it was really well done.
Right.
And the thing is, too, this is like totally like all of the other stuff, not because it's a very dark story.
Yeah.
All of it is. I mean, on all levels. The real story, the fictional story is about, trigger warning, abuse, domestic violence.
Right.
And sexual abuse. Dude, I did think that the way they did it was really good.
Oh,
and
good.
Like, yeah. I thought the movie was really good. And she was like very super compelling. Blake on screen. Yeah. And it just like also raises weird questions to me, but like sort of like transference of like their relationship was clearly weird and she didn't feel comfortable.
Right.
On set, you know?
Yeah.
And that is like maybe, and it's like, it's hard for me to know because I watched it after knowing all of that information.
Yeah.
But I do think like people did love the movie before and thought like it was so well done that it feels like it really did. I don't know. It really translated to on screen, like the unease of it. And also I had no fucking idea who that guy was. And I remember at the time when like they were doing press for that movie,
right,
being like, how did he get to write it and direct it and star in it? Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I had never really heard of him either.
Yeah. He was like a serious reg on some CW show. But he's like, there's something having to do with his religion, like the Baha'i faith, and getting financiers through that he like started some production company. Studio, not even a production company, like a studio that was like financing things.
Right.
And
so this makes more sense now because we've been talking about this a lot of how like people are self-financing things.
Yes.
So it's like wealthy people and kind of well-connected people or people that are like kind of crazy and rolling the dice on
themselves.
Their own, on their own finances when they're not wealthy or well-connected. So that's why a lot of curious things are being made, just things you wouldn't expect, for better and worse.
Yeah. Anyway. I also just think though, like sort of Hollywood is gross. I'm going to say that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it just is. It always has been. There's always been. It's fraught. And we are all trying our best to make changes within a system. All of us, I would say, aside from the people who are not.
Right. Okay. Who are clinging.
All that. But, and so my point is with this, like It Ends With Us stuff, which we haven't talked about on this.
No, we haven't at all.
Is that one thing that I think is really worthwhile and like sort of in the Hollywood of it, I felt like keeps getting lost, is how easily manipulated everyone in the country, everyone in the world is.
Right.
If people want to manipulate you to think something about someone, they can pay and get it out there, and it's not bots. That's what's interesting when you read the New York Times article. Now Justin Baldoni and those disgraced publicists are suing, they're suing the New York Times.
New York Times, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For releasing all of these texts.
Right.
But those publicists are the same team that were representing Johnny Depp when he had his trial with Amber Heard. And I don't think I need to tell you what happened to Amber Heard during that time.
Right.
But she was completely annihilated.
Yeah.
In the court of public opinion and online.
Right.
And, we know about like these 2 Hollywood cases now.
Right.
But you obviously can draw a fucking line and understand that anything that they want, that somebody wants you, and somebody that has enough money wants to change public opinion on, can be done. It can be manipulated. And then I just read this morning that Meta is now moving to get rid of fact checking.
It's done. Yes.
It's done.
And now it's going to be like community notes, which is like
done.
What Twitter had. Yeah, it's not. And here's the thing that I keep thinking about is that in all of these cases, whatever we're talking about, like, yes, I think bots are sometimes involved, but the people at the center of all of these controversies or whatever are people. So the thing is that like, you're not talking about like a hero and a villain. You're talking about at best like an imperfect person and somebody who was either trying to have power over them or manipulate them. And that manipulation can continue because the other person is an imperfect person. So you can pick something out and blow it up and extrapolate it. And yeah, maybe you can start a movement with bots, but then people do most of the work.
Right. I was going to say though,
do the work.
But in these articles that I read specific to this instance, it's not bots at all.
Right.
At all.
Right. It's people picking up on things and
then it gets like they just know how to algorithmically like get it bumped so that more real people jump on board.
Right. And so this happens all the time with women in the public eye, with women, in entertainment, in politics. But if you don't think it's not just happening to like regular women in their hometowns where people talk and women are easily discredited, I guess. I don't know. It never seems to stick to men in the same way. Like it seems like it's wild claims about men are always so easily dismissed for whatever reason. You know what is interesting? One of the first nights I ever hung out at your house in LA, Mark and a bunch of guys were talking about badly behaved geniuses. Like they were talking about people who were geniuses, but everybody knew that they're crazy and to like cut them a wide berth. And some of the men in the conversation were like listing all these people. And finally I was like, which women, what? Can you name a woman who was like a mad genius who was just making everyone's life like so uncomfortable, but it was worth it for what she was making in the end? And they were all like, no, like, not really. And Mark was like, yeah, because that would never be tolerated. She'd never get away with it. So I don't know why we do know why. We do know why. And that is something that, okay, between watching Night Bitch and Wicked in the same day, I had a little bit of an epiphany about, which is like, why are people so intimidated by women and so eager to like shut everything down? All that we literally can make life with our bodies. The show does not go on without women participating. And so that's fucking scary. And no, we can't do it without, obviously it takes biologically different contributions from different people, but the world does not keep going without women. And so I just feel like it's scary to people and they just can't handle it and they just want to control every aspect of it rather than being like, oh, fuck, you're magic. Take the reins. I don't know. But
really
talk about being discredited. Elphaba. It happened in a second where everybody was like, oh my God, she's amazing. She's the future of Oz. And then when she didn't go along with everyone's plan, everybody was like, she's evil. Attention, everyone. The person that was like her hero that she looked up to was like, she's evil. She steals. And everyone was like, oh, get her. That's how fast it happened to her.
It is. But that is literally it.
Yeah. Wild.
It is wild. And I just don't know. I don't know what we're going to do about it. I don't know if there's anything we can do. It feels like there isn't.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Like, what's your vibes? Like, how are you feeling
I just saw that Trump was like not ruling out military action to take the Panama Canal and Greenland as a part of the U.S. I'm like, what the fuck is about to happen? I did not have that one. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah. And he looks like he has been rode hard and put away wet lately. Holy smokes. And then yesterday at the certification of the Electoral College or whatever, JD Vance looked like he was in pain and everyone's like, he had sinus surgery. And I'm like, I don't know.
I had sinus surgery. I did not look like that. You know what I mean?
But I'm just like, also like rally, like he has no endorphins, like getting him through this thing that he should be thrilled to pieces about. Like I'm the one that should look like I'm in pain. You should look like you're in pain, not the vice president elect. I don't know. And then I'm kind of like, it's just wild to me. Like more and more countries are coming out and talking about how they feel that there was election interference in their elections and that they see evidence of interference in other elections in other countries, and Justin Trudeau resigning, and just I don't know, man.
It definitely feels chaotic.
It feels super chaotic. And so, yeah, so that's why I was asking, like, how are you managing? Because, like, that's normally something that I feel like would really drag you down. But you look like you're doing okay. And, and you're an actress. So maybe that's it. But, like, how are you holding it together? How are you doing okay?
I am sort of not paying attention. I'm a little checked out. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to check back in. I get it. I will definitely check back in.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if this is my moment to check back in.
Right.
I'm going to need some of you guys to be there.
Yeah.
Because I sort of am just like, I don't know about this for me right now.
Yeah.
It feels super. I'm waiting for Matthew McConaughey to like send me the sign through my bookshelf. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I need to know what the coordinates are, Matthew. Like I need to that's an Interstellar reference.
Don't you just love Matthew McConaughey?
A movie from 2006 that I'm referencing because it was on Netflix and I needed
It's like
to
that
watch
Jim Gaffigan joke. I want to talk about Heat now.
I mean,
he never watched the movie Heat, but then he finally watched it and then he tried to talk to people about it.
No, but I mean, that is the problem with streaming. I mean,
yes.
Everybody watches everything whenever the fuck they want.
Right.
And sort of like, yeah, there's no we're all like on our own timetable.
Yeah.
Which is why when things like White Lotus come along or whatever, everybody gets so excited about it because you're like, we're all having that shared experience.
Yes.
Which I would argue, okay. I would argue that one of the ways that we've all kind of like in this country, especially, you know, been sort of taken so far apart from one another is actually the expansion of like cable and streaming and then streaming services because you used to like have, even if you didn't have the same political views as like a guy you worked with,
right?
Like you both were watching
All in the Family last
Friends,
night. Yeah.
literally Friends
every
week.
Yeah.
Or like whatever, Frasier or like, I don't even know, ER.
Yes.
It's like a big deal. Grey's Anatomy even.
Yes.
Which is much later, but like still was like a huge deal. I'm just saying people don't have third spaces anymore and they don't have like
that
shared media.
Common experience. Busy. I was in a play when I was a little kid. I was in Don Quixote at the local playhouse. I took little acting classes there, and I was a pig. Thank you. And it was mostly children in the cast, and the play was the night, I believe, I want to say the Peanuts Halloween special was being aired.
Oh, wow. And what a fucking bummer for you.
And they, no, I think there was like a big talk about whether or not it should be rescheduled because we would miss the collective experience of seeing the Peanuts Halloween special the one night of year when it was available to us, and how that was like an important collective thing. And I think they didn't end up rescheduling it, but I think that I just left after my little pig part was over and I went home so that I could like catch the end of the Halloween special.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have that anymore.
No, it was a big deal. Like that, I remember watching whatever that like Sunday night Disney movie was. Like,
yes.
If you got your chores done,
yes,
you got to watch whatever the Sunday night Disney movie was. Swiss Family Robinson.
Yes,
like
if
whatever.
It was That Darn Cat, you'd be like, yes. And if it was like a nature documentary, you'd be like, well, all right. Okay.
I just am like, I do feel like we are all kind of collectively missing that thing because it gives you something to talk about and relate about with one another.
And it's also like changing, I feel like it's changing the dynamics of our relationships because I'm going to sound high, because it used to be like you would just automatically come together knowing that everybody watched Friends or everybody watched Peanuts Halloween. I know that I've told this story, speaking of Wicked, about the Wizard of Oz and my best friend in middle school and her like flipping out on the playground because the actress who played the Wicked Witch died. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sad. And she was like, how are we going to watch it every year? Now it's like, girl, it's on film. She doesn't come reenact it every year. And then she was like, through tears, don't tell anyone that I said that. But of course, now
that's so sad. I love that.
Tracy, I love you. I'm sorry, but it's hilarious. It's the funniest story. But it changes the nature. Like we would all come together automatically knowing that we had like shared this experience and with like the same level of like knowledge of it. And now I feel like we're always recommending things to each other and demand. Like I see recommending and demanding. Yes. So it puts you in like
God, Caissie, yes. You have to watch this. Oh my God, wait.
You haven't watched this?
You have to watch this.
And like it's like a really condescending, like, you know, when people are like, I can't believe you've never watched blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a bad person. It's because I have everything available to me and like also need to
but
unload.
That's also super interesting. Like just as an idea, like, you know, when we're all trying to figure out like what the fuck has happened in this world to our interpersonal skills and relating, it does feel like it's spun out of control.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And then with the demand, like somebody can recommend something to you and they're like an expert and like an authority. And it's not always that. I'm not saying like sometimes you recommend something very good naturedly and like you know the person or whatever, but sometimes it does like take a tone where you're like, you know, where someone is being superior, you know, where they're like, you have to watch this. Blah. And it's like it is a weird dynamic, but then you can go and watch it because we can get everything on demand. And that's something that I've been thinking about for a long time, just about how I think about it all the time in terms of like sparkly sneakers. Like kids have sparkly sneakers now. And I am always like, I would have killed for sparkly sneakers when I was 6 years old.
Killed. I would have done anything in my life.
And now not only can kids get sparkly sneakers, but they can get any variety, like any brand of sneakers can sparkle. They can light up, anything. Their wildest dreams in terms of sneakers have come true.
Wait, remember our wildest dreams was a Velcro pouch on the side where you could put 25 cents for your milk money.
Exactly. And I
literally sound like I'm from the 1950s. But like, this is the late 80s, dude.
But it's like kids have never had to live with the ennui of not having sparkly sneakers available to them. You know, they've never had to even manage that sad feeling of being like, geez, I wish these sneakers lit up. And I think it's like, you know, it's cut back on it's cut back on patience, really amped up consumerism, clearly. But also, I think like it probably harms creativity overall. You know,
oh yeah. Well, I made sparkly sneakers. I like took my Vans and then I got glitter paint, and that was how I did it.
Right. You know, so it's just like it's
also I made that puffball bra.
The puffball bra, I remember,
and a puffball rotary phone that I had in my room. I wish I still fucking had that.
You know what? And shout out to Barb Phillips for letting you glue puffballs on a bra and a phone, because I wasn't even allowed to put up posters on our janky paneling in our house with that blue tacky stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, my response to not being allowed to wallpaper over or take down the flower wallpaper that I like, the baby wallpaper I felt like that I had in my room, was to like re-wallpaper it myself.
Yeah.
With cutout pictures from magazines. And I complete every surface of my teenage bedroom was covered.
Yeah.
It was like actually incredible. It really was. It was really incredible.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is why I had the David Duchovny wall in my office at the Rosie O'Donnell show. I was an adult, but I covered my office with pictures of David Duchovny because it was the first time I was ever allowed to put up whatever I wanted on the wall in my professional office, you know, which is kind of wild. But yeah, that's why I loved hanging out with my aunts who were like, you know, just like 5 and 7 years older than I, because my grandmother was such a like, oh, you know, girls have posters of Sean Cassidy or whoever or whatever, Scott Baio. God forbid. We loved Scott Baio. How sad, how far we've fallen from our love of Scott Baio in the 1980s. But yeah, they just had posters everywhere and they had everything fun, and they were allowed to make easy bake oven snacks and just do whatever they wanted. Just do whatever they wanted.
An easy bake oven.
You didn't?
No.
I think my boss, the head writer of Rosie, got me an easy bake oven for like my 24th birthday or something.
Yeah,
because I had never had one
before.
Yeah,
because we've definitely talked about easy bake ovens before.
100%.
It is like a thing that I think you either were somebody that had one or you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it, guys. That's it. No, but Barb was like always into the crafting.
Yeah.
You know, like she's like, which is why I am. Like she had like, there's like drawers of like, she's like, well, go to the button drawer. Like, what? Like who, you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? But she's just like, there's every fucking button that my mom has ever found or received or whatever in like a giant, you know, storage bin.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she just is like, She's like, I don't know, Elizabeth. Go get the pipe cleaners. Like,
oh
go
my God.
Go to the scrap fabric.
Oh my
Go
gosh.
get the embroidery cloth, like embroidery thread.
We
Like, she just
definitely had a
all of
button
those things.
tin. Like a
You had a
Danish
button tin?
cookie button tin. And like my family did craft. My mom, I think the thing was my mom directed, like whatever I was doing was something that was like sanctioned and approved by her as like a, you know, so like she would have me go build a snowman with her, but it was like her choice of like building a snowman, or like we would paint the front window, the picture window for Christmas, but it was always spearheaded by her. So I was like always participating in a craft that she was directing.
I mean, I get that. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not mad at that for her.
Yeah.
But I also, speaking of, my friend Annie here in town is having a birthday party in not this weekend, but next weekend. And I'm so excited about it because it's a diorama birthday party.
That's so exciting.
I know. So you can make the diorama ahead of time and bring it. You can do finishing touches there. And then if you're a person who's not like me,
yeah,
she's going to have like a separate time for people to come earlier and they can like make their own dioramas if they want. But I need to think of what I'm going to make. I don't know
what tableau
yet.
You're going to make a diorama.
I just don't know yet. I don't know. I'm not inspired quite yet, but I want to really narrow it down. For a minute, I was joking with her that I was going to start making trauma-ramas, and it was just going to be like dioramas of my trauma in my life.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with you, I just don't want to do that right now. That does feel like an art project I could work on for real in the future.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to do that. So I want to do something else.
Do you know the comedian Sarah Schaefer?
I do. Oh, I love, she's a miniature queen.
Yes. I was going to say like her miniatures. Oh my God, she's so good. And then whenever I watch something that she makes, like a miniature, whatever, she makes like all the little items that go into like a little house. Whenever I watch something like that, then I get served so much like miniature making content, and it's really fascinating.
Well, throw it my way because I'm really trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. And yeah, and I just kind of don't know yet, but I'm gonna zero in on it.
I was already thinking, I'm already pre-planning because I skipped the cookie party this year, the cookie swap. I feel like I have like a party deficiency that I'm gonna need to throw a party. And I was like, it'd be super fun, a fascinator party where you made paper fascinators at the beginning of the party to wear and take pictures with. I think that'd be so fun. I
think any kind of crafting party is real fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a great Annie's birthday party last year was super fun. It was like a talent show kind of. It was
amazing.
It was like essentially like a talent show. But people did all kinds of, like there were all kinds of things that people did. And one person did like a little art lesson.
Okay.
Like a figure drawing.
Oh,
She's
nice. Okay.
an art teacher.
Yeah.
And she did like a figure drawing lesson, like a fairly quick one, but we like all drew something. And it was really cool. I don't know. I kind of think there's something to that. Like, I was thinking over the summer, I was like walking Gina and I found this like little area and I was like, I feel like we should do a lecture here. Like somebody should just do a lecture. And then I was like, we should do a lecture series, but it's like things that you're not an expert on.
Yeah. I did this show one time that was called, I think it was called Adult Education, where you had to give like a PowerPoint presentation on something. And it was really
there are definitely
cool.
For sure like versions of that. Like I've seen them and what I did once for Sheila Heti, the author who I like love.
Yes.
But this is like, but I don't know. I think they're really, how am I dealing with everything? I am really not dealing with anything. I'm really just like, let's craft and have an adult lecture series about things that we're not experts in.
But is that not kind of like all you can do? Obviously it's not, and you always do all that you can do, but I do think you have to do some restorative practices where you find joy. Listen, that's what people have been telling us. Like, you can't just turn to dust.
I may be in a restorative moment for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% get that. I think it's what we have to do. Like, we're nourishing ourselves, we're taking care of ourselves, we're trying to find joy, we're trying to find creativity, we're trying to yeah. I get it. And I don't think that's like, you're saying that you're checked out, but I think it's that you're like taking a breather, like you literally did all you could, and so.
Yeah. And I also just have had like a few years that have been really tough and overwhelming.
Yeah. Same.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am very I'll let you guys know what's going on with the diorama. Emily Beebe and I like loved making dioramas when we lived together. This should surprise no one.
What did you make dioramas of?
Well, one time we made a cookie diorama.
Oh, that's fun.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
But it was for the holidays, I remember. And it was like dog-shaped cookies that we like put yarmulkes on, and they were having a Hanukkah party.
Oh my god.
And then there were these other cookies that were like more traditional Christmas cookies. They were just having a holiday party.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
That's super funny and fun.
I could make an edible
diorama. I love that.
Me too.
I love that. We had this lady that used to come on the Rosie O'Donnell show that was always doing like candy art, and she made a desk out of candy for Rosie. I would be so stressed out that it would that it would break or whatever, but she was like very, very zen about it, very chill, a funny lady. Maybe an edible diorama.
I know. I actually was going to like reach out to Annie and be like, is someone making you a cake? Because I want to make a diorama for sure because I love it.
Yeah.
But like, then I was like, can I make a cake diorama?
Oh my gosh. Probably.
You know me. You know me, guys.
I know. I do. I miss that. I actually miss like my friend Tracy of the Wizard of Oz fame. I made her wedding cake as like my gift to her, and I was so stressed out about how it came out because it was like super hot summer, and just I'm not the most experienced cake maker, but I made her wedding cake and it was super fun, and I loved how it came out, and I think everybody enjoyed it. But I miss making fun cakes for my kids' birthdays. They don't really have things that they want for birthday cakes. Like I was always making a treasure chest, or I made a castle one year with cookies for the stones. Like it was the cake was the castle, but then I put cookie stones on it and it came out really great. I miss it. And I never got like, I always got action adventure cake assignments from them. So I never got to make like super quirky or girly stuff they weren't into, but miss it.
I still I still try to make cakes, but I think for the most part, my cake days seem to be behind me a bit.
Aww.
I'm also doing a fun thing for Greenwich House Pottery.
Oh, wow.
With the pigs,
Yeah.
So do you know what slip casting is?
I do, actually. Yeah, my mom
it's like when you
that.
take a form and they make a plaster cast of it, and then you can make multiples of that thing. But you can slip cast kind of anything, like a sock or or a vase that you love. Anyway, I'm working with Vicky at Greenwich House, one of the slip casting instructors and artists, and she slip cast a pig,
Oh,
a pig pot that I made. And we are reaching out to and having like 10 different artists do the pigs. And we're going to either, depending on the artist,
Yeah.
auction or raffle the pig pots off to benefit Greenwich House Pottery, because Greenwich House Pottery is an awesome place, but they like the money that you spend on classes there or whatever
Yeah.
goes into providing those classes, but also to their social services programs.
Oh, amazing.
Because that's like part of the Greenwich House organization. They have like art, music, and pottery, and then they have all of these social programs. Like they have like methadone clinics, Greenwich House.
Oh, good.
And they do like senior citizen outreach, and like, like warm tea and coffee on the, in this place, like at this every Wednesday at 2 for senior citizens. And they have like a senior citizen choir that's like totally free, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then like early education stuff for like little kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's free for people who, qualify or whatever. But all that being said, that means that they have to like fundraise in order to do things like building maintenance or update the building that Greenwich House Pottery is in, which they've been there since like the 40s, I think, or 50s.
Wow.
And so they've been trying to do this like capital campaign to raise money for the stuff. And I was like, what if we did this? Because I just feel like it could work. And we're doing it. And one of my favorite artists just agreed, but I don't want to say yet. But honestly, I feel like I'm just going to fucking buy the pig pot that she does, because I'm like so freaking out that she said yes. So,
that's amazing.
Anyway. I know.
That's very cool.
So I'll keep you posted on that, guys.
Keep us posted, because people have been wanting pig pots. So
I'm ready to get going back into it. Yeah.
It's so exciting.
I know. Well, what are you doing your best at this week?
Oh, gosh. Well, I haven't been doing my best at eating food, but that's okay.
No.
Yeah, same as last week. I feel like that's goofy to say that, but just trying to like reconfigure things, and the questions that I asked you, like, how are you managing everything? Like, am I getting sucked into a rabbit hole of just like looking at every piece of news, or am I just like doing something else? And is that okay? And like, is it better to like spend my time listening to an audiobook and getting some things done that have been nagging at me?
Right.
And, and I just really struggle with like, shit. Like I got a bill from the doctor's office that like my insurance claim was denied, and, how apropos. And I'm like, I don't want to pay this, but I'm also very anxious about like embarking on the process of figuring it out or whatever. And so like before we got on to record the podcast, I spent an hour on the phone, like managing that bullshit, and it turns out that somebody had just put a wrong number somewhere or whatever, and it's fine and it's all going to be fine. But I'm just like, why am I the executor of this? You know what I mean? Like, why does it take me getting a bill to notice that something went awry or whatever? Anyway, but so I'm just trying to like do that stuff, pay my mom's taxes. I got to get my mom's house on the market this year. I have to.
That's what's going to happen. I believe in it. I believe in you.
But it's just, I'm trying to like do all that. And it's hard because there's like, for me, there's an emotional component that doesn't make any sense probably to anyone else, like the reasons why I don't do the things that I should be doing.
Here's the deal, Case.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to make sense to anyone else.
Exactly. But it's like, it's interesting when you get to the point where it doesn't make sense to you anymore. Like why you're letting yourself like be held back from just whatever, looking at something, looking at the truth of something. You know what I mean? People that don't check your credit card bills, people that don't make your doctor's appointments, people that don't, sell your mom's houses when they need to be sold that don't like book the plane ticket. And it's because it's going to be like a whole thing. You know, it really is. It's going to be a whole fucking thing. And and it's going to be like a whole thing in terms of like logistics and red tape and getting the runaround and all of that. And then it's on top of that, it's going to be like a whole emotional thing.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're avoiding. But like you can't really avoid it because it's like hanging there on the wall like a plaque looking at you the whole time.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And it will be an energetic, it'll be different once you do it. Yeah. It'll shift a thing. And also, that. So that's like an added thing for better or for worse. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes an energetic shift for the better is a loss in its own way. Right. Which sounds crazy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like sometimes it's good to close the book on something, even if it's like hurts to close the book, you know?
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're doing your best.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. How about you? What are you doing your best at?
I really think I did my best at figuring out a way to get my chores accomplished whilst listening to a podcast that was very interesting to me. Now, I guess this trick is that it has to be something I'm very interested in. But I only listened to 2 episodes and got all that stuff done. So there's still more episodes. So I'm just going to save them until I need to have chores.
Right.
So I was proud of myself for that.
That's amazing. Yeah. And it's such a great podcast.
Well, I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying. That's what I'm doing.
I am
not demanding anyone.
I was about to recommend it to you, but obviously.
No, it's very specific. Like people were recommending it to me because honestly, it's truly like an intersection of everything that I'm interested in.
Yeah,
so it's like,
it totally
makes a lot of sense.
My complicated feelings about recommendations notwithstanding.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing my best on, I think.
Good for you. That's really good. And that must be a good feeling to just be like, did it.
Yeah, it is. Aww. Anyway, well, I love you and I love you guys.
We'll talk to you very
run
soon.
To school.
And don't freeze out there.
It's so cold.
Be careful.
I know. Well, I actually have to leave early because I have to stop at Mark's house and get Cricket's warmer coat because she doesn't have her warmer coat here.
Yeah. She doesn't believe in warm coats like all tweens.
It's so annoying. But also her warmer coat, she doesn't even have an option because it's at Mark's house and he's not back. He's still in LA. So that's why I have to get out of here right now so I can run and go break into his house. And then it's not breaking in, guys.
You have a key.
He did give me a key so I could water his plants.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, go do that and we'll talk to you guys soon.
We'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh no.